What's up, gamer? My name's Luco, and today I'm going to give you a quick rundown on how to tell if an item is good or not in Path of Exile 2. There are tons of different things that can make an item good or bad, so this won't be an exhaustive list, but there are a couple of simple things you can look out for to separate the worthwhile from the worthless. We'll start with armor and jewelry, and then talk about weapons after that. When you identify a piece of armor or jewelry, there are two kinds of modifiers you should be looking for as a highest priority. The first category is HP. Whether your build uses a life or energy shield, chances are good that you'll want as much of it as possible because more life means less death, and avoiding death is especially important in Path of Exile 2 because of how punishing it can be. So if you look at an item and see that it has a ton of life or energy shield on it, that's one of the main things an item needs to be considered good. The other category that shares priority with HP is resistance. Elemental and chaos resistances are each capped at 75% by default, and monster damage in Path of Exile 2 is balanced so that it's very difficult to survive if your resistances are any lower than that. That means you need a total of at least 75% of each of the resistance modifiers spread across your gear before you can even start to feel comfortable in combat. No matter how crazy a build may be, it will just about always need resistance to both elemental and chaos damage. Those two types of modifiers are the basis for just about any good piece of armor or jewelry you may look at, and in most cases you'll need both life and resistance on just about all of your gear. So if you look at a piece of gear and it's missing either HP or resistance, then it's probably not that good. There are other modifiers that you want on your gear in various places, like movement speed on your boots, or defensive modifiers like armor or evasion rating on your body armor, or even more specific things that are meant only for your build, but those are all things that you'll want on gear that already has the life and resistances that your character needs to survive. Weapons, on the other hand, are exactly the opposite of the rest of your gear because you actually don't want any defenses on them at all. There are a bunch of different weapon types in Path of Exile 2, each with their own focus and purpose. The modifiers that make a wand good for a spellcaster are going to look very different from the modifiers that make a mace good for a heavy melee attacker. That being the case, I can really only give you a general guideline of what to look for, and that guideline is to look for damage modifiers that work well together. If you find a mace that has a bit of physical damage, a bit of elemental damage with attacks, and stun duration, that's not going to be anywhere near as useful as a different mace that has 15 to 30 physical damage to attacks, 150% increased physical damage, and attack speed. The same thing goes for caster weapons. A fire mage will want increased spell damage, increased fire damage, and levels to fire skills way more than they'll want mana, damages cold, and chance to shock. To put it plainly, the best weapons are the ones that do one thing very well. Whether you're looking for gear to use yourself or to sell it to other players, keeping those couple things in mind will do a lot to help you distinguish between which gear is good and which gear is bad. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you found this guide helpful, then don't forget to like and subscribe for more like it. Lastly, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.